What's up, everyone? This is your host, Elias, and I am here back once again with another show to preview another game. And today is going to be an exciting one. I don't know whether it's going to be really exciting or whether it's going to be just the usual stuff that we're going to be talking. It would have been a bit more exciting if Vinny could have joined me, but I think that Vinny is somehow caught. I think in the father duty or some of his family stuff. So I don't. I will see if he'll be able to join us later or not. But I'll be here discussing with you guys here in the chats. If you're there in the chats, please keep me going because now it's just me. Vinny has is unable to join me. So if you can, you guys in the chats, please show me some of your questions or whatever you would like to discuss. It's pretty cold in here in here in Malaysia today. It just rained pretty heavily today, and it's still raining outside, so it's pretty cold. And I am trying to cope up with that coldness, and the coldness in the chat would not be very encouraging for me. So if you can try to just show me some love, some warmth in the comments. Just let me know what your thoughts are, like whatever you want to talk, what you want me to talk about. If I go off topic a little bit, so let's get on with it. First of all, big up to every single one of you who have subscribed to the channel. We have hit 225. I'm aiming to actually hit 200 by 20th of March if can, so that I'm like kind of targeting like 100 subscribers a month at the moment. That's just some of my personal ambitions. I don't want to be like Daniel Levy. I'm an ambitious guy, so I aim for the best. Um, and we are here to discuss a few things. First of all, uh, I hope Vinny can join me later. So it will be interesting to hear from him rather than you guys just hearing from me. I really hope he can join, but from the looks of it, I think he's pretty busy because he's not replying the messages as well. Um, the first thing that I would like to talk about is that embarrassing exit at the Champions League. Actually, I wanted to specifically discuss this part with Vinny because he was there on the day itself. Pretty horrific, and we can see the aftermath of that. The fan base is going at each other's neck, and the player that we have been we have seen some really weird sort of interviews coming out as well, like that Richarlison interview and stuff like that. Who is to blame for that? Is it the players? Is it the manager? Is it the owner? Or fans are the problem? To a certain extent, I mean, I think that fans have accepted this sort of mediocrity at this level. I'm not very surprised that yeah, we actually lost that particular game. Given the way things are going in the club, the way the transfer windows happened and all that, I'm not very surprised by this result. To a certain extent, like yeah, I'm just being indifferent about it. It was a horrific showing. I mean, I would say like that Romero red card was another one. Like what Romero lately has been pretty reckless. Like every single game he's picking up yellow cards, and then once he pick up a yellow, then he's not there. And sometimes even when he picks up yellow, then he goes into this kind of reckless tackle and then pick up a red card. That red card really costed us the entire game, in my opinion. If not for that red card, I think we could have done something even, but it really costed us in the end. And then Conte brought in Sanchez. I personally think that Sanchez choice was a good one, even though he's getting a lot of blame for that, because if you look at it, Romero, after Romero being out, you don't really have a proper center back in the. You don't really have proper center backs to play the system. For instance, let's just say the only center back, the natural center back you would have in the squad is Langley, and Langley is not really a very fast player as well. So I think that bringing Sanchez was a good choice because he had to put like natural two center back. Because if you have Ben Davis actually on the inside as well, Ben Davis we all know is not a natural center back. So Conte must put in somebody who is a natural center back to play in that role to replace Romero. And I think that was a good choice that he made, because if not for Sanchez coming on, I think we could have conceded a goal. We could have conceded a goal because you do need a. It's totally different the way a left-sided left back would play, and the way center backs play is kind of different. So I personally think that that was a good choice from Conte to bring in Sanchez, although a lot of people disagree with me on this one. I'm not so sure why. By the way, guys, I am actually live on three spots today. I'm actually live on YouTube. I'm also live on Twitter, and I'm also live on Facebook. If you are on Facebook and Twitter, make sure you just you can just come on to YouTube at Step Up Spurs and hit the hit the like button and subscribe button, because that's the one that I usually share the content on. The polls and all that stuff is all there. So if you're watching me on YouTube or Twitter, sorry, if you're watching me on Facebook or Twitter, you just can come on to YouTube as well, and then just help me with the like and the subscribe button. That will be really helpful. So yeah, coming back to that, I think that personally that Sanchez choice was not a bad one, and I think Conte is getting a rather undeserving blame for that, because it was very much needed. Because if not for that, you could have conceded a goal as well. He was trying to be safe. Um, we reach out. Dietrich, do you want to join me actually? Because today the guest was supposed to join me, in the end couldn't make it. Let me drop the link in the chat. Yeah, so actually the person who was supposed to join me today cannot make it, and maybe I can have now Dietrich's Kane on. Uh, are you okay to join me, bro? Yeah, can. You can go on your phone or you can go on anything. I'm fine with that. As long as somebody is with me, it all goes well. Uh, yeah, so I was discussing about that Sanchez situation. I think that was pretty good. The Richie out. That's another one that I'm now going into. The Richarlison interview. I mean, what on earth was going on Richarlison's mind when he actually gave that interview? What does he think of himself? Really, I don't understand why on earth would you give that sort of an interview when you are having such a bad time playing. And I think Conte just gave a very good response to that interview. I completely agree with what Conte did today and what Conte said about him, because Richarlison was being rather selfish, really. He hasn't done a single thing this whole season to deserve his spot in the starting 11. And I'm joined by my friend Dietrich Skane all the way from Canada. Hey bro, how are you doing?
Good, how are you, brother?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I it's just that actually today my guest couldn't make it. I think he had some family duty, so he couldn't make it. So
You should
yeah, I'm
find
glad that
him.
you can join me.
You should
I should
find
find.
him and blast him like Conte with Rich interview.
The thing is, he was supposed to join me for the first time, so yeah, I'll show him some grace.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
bro. Actually, what do you think about this whole Richarlison interview? Like the consequences of it and the way it has been going around. Like, what do you think about this whole situation, bro?
For me, look, we all played sports growing up. Like we all criticized like our teammates, our coaches. We were not happy at times. It happened, of course. But what bothers me with him, you did nothing all year except 2 goals in the Champions League. You never scored in the League Cup, FA Cup, and the Prem. And you have the audacity to go and criticize the team for not playing well. Man, if I was you, I would look at myself at the mirror and try to say, you know what? I can only blame myself and not the squad. If it was Kane and Son, maybe he has every right because he has credibility. He showed in the past that, you know what, I am world class. You never showed that you were top class in your life.
Yeah, I mean, and there are still people like I was actually earlier on VR Tottenham TV. I don't know if you catch that particular show, and I was actually talking about this entire thing that actually you just said, and there were people in the comments who actually told me that Big up Scott. No. I mean, Dietrich has actually been rather nice lately, right? I was actually at We Are Tottenham TV earlier, and I was
Yeah?
talking about the same thing, this whole Richarlison interview, and
Yeah,
I actually said that yes,
I
at
watched your stream.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched the comments there. There were people like Hasper who were still going on behind me and saying that okay, I'm delusional and I got this problem and all that. Like seriously, man, the manager himself has come out and told you that actually this guy has had a shit season. He doesn't deserve a spot in the starting 11, and still there are people who are criticizing Sun and people who are actually saying that Sun
No,
is still better than Richie.
no, saying that Son, no, Rich is better than Son, like that is complete stupidness at the highest level. But if you want to criticize Son, you have every right. He hasn't been good, so criticizing him, yes. But if you mention that Richie should start, then then your opinion doesn't matter. Like you're just an idiot in my eyes.
I mean that's all that I said. I said to Brian actually earlier on that actually being critical of Sun is nothing. There's nothing wrong with it.
No,
But
there's
if you
nothing wrong.
there's nothing wrong with being critical about Sun, but to have an agenda like how that guy has Spur, for instance, he has an agenda against Sun. He has a clear agenda. Like he just tried to wind me up with that whole narrative. To be honest, which just drive me crazy. Like he has no, and to be honest, I actually called him out on Twitter the other day as well, and I was having a. I actually told him that, like, bro, why do you think about that? Like, show me one fact that actually proved that Richarlison deserved to start our son. And he said that, oh, there's no fact you can just see. Like, come on, mate. It's
Who said
seriously
that?
Hasper
No,
has.
Hasper like I don't have any issues with him, but like we had a debate yesterday on Tottenham win. Like I showed him the facts that Perisic is hindering this team and not Son particularly. But if he wants to believe that Son is an issue, it has every right. Like I'm not gonna go and insult him behind his back. Like if he has an issue with Son, that's your right.
Actually, yeah, like what Scott said, that he has an agenda against Sun.
No,
To have
everyone has an agenda against player. Like I have an agenda against Dyer. That's my personal. Even when he plays well, I'm gonna say he plays like shit. That's me, for example. But it all depends on the person. Like, but the only thing
but
I'm
it,
gonna
it
s-
also depends how you carry yourself, right? Like how Richarlison, the way he carried himself in that interview, what do you think? That did he even deserve to actually have that sort of a baffled interview?
no, the issue with this guy, he thinks that he is better than what he is, just because he's Brazil's number 9 and and he was nominated for Puskas Awards. He thinks he's better than what he is, and that's a problem. You should never think highly of yourself. If fans start screaming for your name and cheering on and making a song about you, then you're right. You're doing something right. But at the moment, you're actually shit.
Oh, this one I completely agree with. I called him off there. Yeah, I know Dietrichs won't say that because maybe he's Dietrich's friend, but I called him off there. Uh, yeah. But anyways, let's go on to this Richarlison interview. And what do you think about Conte's response to this interview after this? The
Sorry?
one where have you seen that recent interview that Conte gave where he said that when Richarlison said that his season has been bad, is he himself actually saying that his season has been bad? Have you read that particular comment by Conte
No, I
in the?
read it, but he says the season still hasn't ended. But you're not that stupid, Conte. You're a smart lad. You know the season's done. You know the season has been absolutely garbage. We've done nothing this year except disappoint and play like shit.
Yeah,
My wife.
right. What happened? Yeah, I mean, this whole I personally think that Conte was being very real about this whole situation. Some people think that yes, it's a bit of a it's completely PR and it's completely him just trying to defend the club once again. I don't think that. I think even despite the fact that he was being rather nice with his wordings, he was pretty candid about his feelings regarding Richarlison. And the other one, I think he made a comment about Danuma as well, like he's not good enough to Dietrich. Which one is you actually now? Is this you, Dietrich, now?
Yeah, it's me because I have Wi-Fi issues. I'm so sorry. I have Wi-Fi
Oh,
issues.
no worries. Yeah.
No,
So
what did you say? I swear to God, like it
I
just
think Conte was pretty candid in his interview regarding his feelings
yes.
about Dan Yuma and also Richarlison. Like why he they are not starting over Son. Do you particularly agree with that? Because some people say that yeah, the fact that Conte has come up and said that about Dan Yuma, it's kind of unprofessional. He thinks that he's bigger than club
It's
and
not
all that.
it's not unprofessional because he never wanted him in the first place. He's just being honest with the fan base. People were asking question, why is Danjuma not starting? Why is Danjuma not playing? Well, you have your answer. He doesn't fit his philosophy and system and tactics. So why would he play him? You just gonna play him for the sake of your like of you? No, he's not gonna do that. That's his job on the line. If it doesn't work, he's gonna get the sack, and you're gonna go cheer the next manager after. He wants to succeed at his club. So people stop.
He always want to succeed. I mean, he has that success mindset,
Yes,
which is what we need.
look. Do you remember Mourinho? When he started listening to the fans, when he went tits up, let's play a high line. He showed against Everton, didn't work. Let's play three at the back. He showed it didn't work. Let's play with Lo Celso and Dombele Ali, and you saw what happened. So let's just not question the manager. He's on the training bench day and day out. He knows what's happening and who's good or not good enough. So stop questioning the manager. You can question sometimes his tactics or his substitution time and stuff. But if a player doesn't play, then there's a reason he doesn't play.
I agree with you. I agree with you completely there.
Like if
And
we had Harry Kane on the bench, then I would say, you know what, something's not right. Or Son on the bench.
yeah, of
But
course, you
it's
love Harry Kane.
Danjuma. Who gives a shit about this guy? He's shit.
Yeah, I think I was just reminded of this particular interview as well that Conte gave when Danjuma came to play for us. Conte did say that the fact that Villarreal is willing to release him on loan, it just tells you what kind of player he is. He made comments something along those lines,
Bro,
like the fact.
he was their most expensive transfer in the history of the club, and they just loaned him out.
Yeah, it just tells you like really what kind of a player he has been for them. It's I think almost like our Ndombele situation. Do you think? Don't you think that?
No, because Ndombele, at least he showed like what's a Leon that he had potential. He was good enough, but he was just lazy. You know he has talent. Danjuma, what does he have? He sucked at Bournemouth. He sucked at Villarreal, and now he sucks at Spurs.
He's
He was never good in his career.
Yep, he was never good in his career.
He
I
maybe he
mean,
was good.
he had good spells in his career, but to say that overall
He was just his.
he has shined in a team, no.
I can tell you right now because I remember watching Danjuma. He only played well when it was against us in the FA Cup with Bournemouth, and he played well against Juventus in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think that game he had like 2 goals in that United game, right? In the Champions League one.
Yeah,
Was it what?
my internet cuts off. I'm so sorry. I said he plays well. He played well against Bournemouth in the with Bournemouth in the FA Cup and well with Juve in the Champions League. Other than that, he hasn't been good.
Yeah, he has been. I mean that these are the kind of signings like we made. Firstly, and the other thing is why we made that sort of a
Do you
signing. I don't
know
know.
why we made the son in? Who did Conte want as a winger or like wing back ish player? He wanted Zaniolo. And you
Cannot
know
get him.
what Levy said? I don't want to pay 30 million. Let's go sign a loan player for 2 million fee.
It's possible, but I mean Zaniolo that back then he was that particular deal also like there were a lot of things going on behind,
No,
and I think
I'm not
it was a similar Poro situation.
I'm not a fan of Zaniolo. But if Conte said go and sign me this guy, go get him.
Trust him, yeah. I think
Look,
still, even though Zaniolo is not good, he's better than he gives us
no,
something
he
better
was
than Yuma and Richarlison.
he was good. The only issue with him is his injury record. That's the main
His
issue
injury
with
record
him.
is bad.
But
I agree.
when Conte said, when he was at Inter and said, I wanted Kulusevski, but he went to Juventus. Look what happened with him the season he came. Same thing with Bentancur. Just trust the guy.
Yeah, I mean it
But
has
that's
been.
but that's my problem with this fan base. Well, I'm gonna go on a rant because I'm sick and tired of this fan base. Well, Stop thinking that you know more than the coach. Don't ever question his methods. He's a top professional for a reason. You're at home watching the games. If you were that good, I promise you would get 10 million a year. But you're not getting that money because you're not good. Don't question his tactics. Don't question him, or even question his loyalty to Spurs. He's there for a reason. He even wants to be here. Don't question him. If he says something or doesn't play, there's always a reason behind it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's not even that he is playing bad, but does he even have the personnel? And I think Rob Belcher brought up a very good point here. Son is being played in a more central position, who track back to protect the midfielder, so that's reason enough for not having last
Yeah.
season's figures. I completely
Imagine,
agree with you, bro.
imagine we had, let's say, Casemiro and Bentancur. Do you really think Son would be playing that more defensive role? No,
No
he
chance at all.
wouldn't. He's protecting the midfield and the back line.
He is protecting the midfield and the back line, and I mean,
Last year,
Perisic
la-
is mainly out of his position. Usually, he's playing like a winger, so I think Son has to track back and protect that
yes,
as well.
and last year, as much as I don't like the player Sessegnon, but why did he play? Why did he play most of the games and not like regular? Because he was covering for the defense and he was doing his job defensively, just not going forward. That's why Son had so much space and like had less of a defensive record role last year.
I mean, even with Regulon as well, Son was at least much better than he is now with
Yeah, Regulon
Perisic.
says they did their job. Perisic is a hindrance of this team, and I hope he leaves. I hope we cut him off.
I mean, now I was just reading on Twitter as well earlier that he now wants to go back to Inter.
Let
Wow,
him go
like
to. Let him go to Inter for a free transfer. Let him go. He's not good enough.
I don't think he's good enough as a left wing back, and now with his age as well, he's no longer good enough because in the past he has been good. I would say,
Bro,
I mean, unlike Richarlison or Danjuma, at this point he is not good enough for us as a left wing back or a left winger as well because his finishing is lacking. If you see that as well, like his finishing is not even there. Dietrich, sorry, you were saying something. Yeah, you are. I can hear you now.
yeah, I just have so much issue with this Wi-Fi. It's so, but I'm so sorry to ruin your show. I'm so sorry.
No, no worries, no worries. I mean, you came on last minute, anyways. I
Yeah,
didn't plan it with you.
yeah, that's pretty bad. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, you see, like next year, like if we let Perisic go, at least there's so many free transfers that we can get. Like let's say Zaha, there's so many good players we can go and buy. But you know it's not gonna happen. We're gonna be stuck with these shit players.
No, I think he's making a good point.
I'm
Uh,
not. I rated Perisic at the start of the season, but let's be honest. He's not good enough this after the World Cup. I'm just being honest with you, this Scott. If he was good, I would always praise you for your what you do. But I'm just not a fan of this guy anymore.
yeah, I mean, this guy. I feel that he's trying to ignore a certain role that he has been assigned,
He
and
scored
rather
zero
than
goals at Spurs. You realize that?
yeah, he has scored 0 goals, but I mean, he had 5 assists towards the start of the season,
But how
and
many
then
of the
that
assists were open play?
I need to check
Zero.
that. I
Just
don't.
one. That was Crystal Palace.
Okay, one was that. Then the other one was a free kick. I think that he scored for.
No, that he flicked and gave it to Kane for against Wolves. I remember.
Ah, yeah, yeah. That was another one.
Yeah,
So
so
I
he
mean,
has zero. He has one assist on open play, so he's not doing his job correctly.
yeah, he has not been doing his job correctly. And the other thing is, I think he has been ignoring the role that he has been assigned to, and he's trying to play a much more attacking role in the system because he plays that role for his national team, and I don't think he has been good, but he's so much better than any wingback we have outside of Poro.
Yeah, but it's
Um,
not hard to beat.
I kind of agree with you, Scott. But the thing is, he's also ignoring his role as a wingback. If you look at the way he's playing much more as a winger rather than a wing back. And if that's hindering your winger to play more freely and rather than come behind, it's a problem, bro. Like if Sun has to come and cover for him, and then he is not even having that sort of finishing ability as a winger, then it's kind of like a liability. What do you think, Dietrich?
Yeah, I know. I've said it since day one. Like, Son is a shadow of himself because of this guy, like, playing a high wing back role. And if we don't change him or, like, something happens and we rather keep him, then sell Son. Because you're just wasting his talents and might as well just go get a fee for this guy.
Yeah,
And
the other one is
go get someone that's gonna do a job and not score. That's what defense want. They want Richarlison. They want someone that can do the pigeon dance.
yeah, I mean, Rob Belcher made a comment. If Conte says and speak, if having Odoji should help the left wing back position, Perisic has just been a stopgap like Langley until reinforcements arrive. I mean, how long would the reinforcements come? And then now again, there's this
But
narrative going on.
even we
Sorry,
bring even we bring Udoji back to the club. Why would we? After we're gonna have the same issue. Like if he gets injured, who are we gonna have backup? Because Reguilon, no one wants him at the club. Says you can never trust him.
honestly, I would take Regulon at the club.
Yeah, but Reguilon, no one wants him.
That's my other problem with the people
Even
as well.
Atletico Madrid said they don't want him because he's been an absolutely disgrace of a player with his injuries and like he doesn't perform.
No, I think the problem with him is also his discipline,
Yeah,
apparently.
discipline. He took so many disciplinary actions.
Yeah, even at Atletico and here as well. Like, I hope that somehow he can work out. Like that guy is talented. He's fast. He's talented. He
Yeah,
he
but
just has everything in that role that we need. But just somehow actually I'm a bit of a I have a bit of a soft spot for that guy.
yeah,
But
but
he
Elias, he's not made for the Premier League. Some
a
players like
regular is
he's not made for the Premier League. If you look at, for example, you saw it against ACML, Theo Hernandez. You saw how he's played. He's fierce. He attacks. He doesn't care about the challenges. But Regulon is just a.
sorry, Regulon or Perisic.
I mean, Regulon.
But Regulon didn't play against AC Milan.
No, no. I said if you look at Hernandez, for example,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
as a left wing back, you see someone that attacks, that are fierce, that can play in the Premier League. Regulon is just not made for this league.
I think Regulon he had a good run of form last season.
Everyone was good under Mourinho. Even
Uh,
Sissoko was good.
yeah, I think it's just a matter of how at what level you are and what position you're playing in. Honestly, I feel that even under Nuno, Regulon had a good run. Like at one point, if I remember, he was the best defender that we had actually in our team, and then he was giving assists, or he was regularly providing assists for Sun as well back then. Like he
Yeah,
had
but
three or four assists, I think, in just 5 or 6 games for
yeah,
Sun.
but how many injuries does he have? You
He didn't
cannot
have much of injuries last season, bro. Like one injury, I think one.
in
Yeah,
no with the Spurs. If you look at transfer market, he had. I'm not saying a lot of injuries, but he was out for a couple of games.
but even then, if you look at someone like Sessignon usually get a lot more injuries,
No,
bro.
no, I want both of them. I want them out. Same thing with Perisic. Just sell them. I don't want them at this club.
Hmm. Then it means that we are back to square one. We have to find another left wing back to
Bro,
stay back up.
we never. You see the issue. Even the position that we fix, we have to fix them once again. Bentancur, you
Yeah.
found your midfielder. Now he has a tour ACL. You have to go get another midfielder. Same thing with the striker. You want to go Richie, he scored 0 goals. Now you have to go get a backup striker. A defender. You never replace Jan Vertonghen and Toby, so you have to go get two defenders now.
Yeah.
Even goalkeeper, you want Forrester. Now Forrester's not good. You're going to sell the backup and the first choice keeper. So you're going to go back to square one once again.
I mean, this next season is actually a square one season on many things. You need to get a goalkeeper. You need to get a
Two
left
center
side
backs.
defender back. two center backs actually. Yeah, not just one. I think
A
you also need
midfielder
to get one attacking mid and one box to box midfielder as well. That's like
left attack,
four or five already.
left attack,
Left
left wing
left
back,
wing left wing back, and I think again you need to look into a backup for left wing as well if Sun is not playing. So
and a
that's
right
like
winger.
right winger. Yeah, yeah, right winger as well. So that's
And
like
then,
seven, eight signings as already here.
but if you look at your fingers, that's only for the first 11. That's not the squad.
Yeah, and also these are eight signings for just the first 11. Not none of that actually adds on like much more depth to the
And
squad.
and the issue with that now, you have to go and pay for Poro and Kulusevski's transfers this
Transfer
summer.
fee.
So now
Yep.
you lost 80 million in the summer. 80 million down the drain.
It means that yeah, I think we have to sell some of those players that are out on loan. Like let's need to must sell someone like Lo Celsos, must sell and Dombele, must sell someone like okay, I don't even know like what would be the situation now with all those players who have gone out on loan, like Troy Parrott,
Bro, the
Dane
best
Scarlett.
the best solution for Lo Celso and Dombele, you rip up their contracts. And then it saves you so much time and effort and like a stress. Rip up their contracts, start over. It's easy. You do it like Arsenal. Go get a young upcoming talent from Italy that Conte knows, and you put him there. Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, anyways, we were on that thing as well. Like now, the other thing that I want to ask is Conte about to be sacked, and is can Levy afford to sack Conte at this point with his financial situations? Uh, I don't know, Dietrich. What do you think? Like, let's say if we lose to Nottingham, and let's say, or even let's say we win Nottingham, and then we have like a poor result against Southampton before the international break. Do you think after the international break, Conte would still be around?
But at least I'll be honest with you, I couldn't give a flying shit if he sacks him or keeps him. I hope Levy sacks himself first and foremost.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but like, why? You see, like, the issue with Levy, he listens to the fans most of the time. Do you remember with Nuno when everyone was screaming Levy out, Enoch out, and then he got Conte? If it gets toxic, he's gonna listen and fire Conte. But if he's
Because
just
he manipulates the fans to a certain extent that
yes, he
they
manipulates.
do something to let him stay in power.
But look at the YouTubers we have. Most of these idiots, they're calling for Conte's head, and he's done nothing. And most of them were
They're
twerking for
idiots.
him.
They're idiots.
They're idiots, bro. So that's why I'm saying if Levy's a smart lad, you have two options. Either you keep him long term and you could continue with the process, or you're in complete utter fool. You bring back Poch, and then you have to spend at least 300 million to bring back his team. So which one is smarter for this guy? Bring back three players or buy a new start 11? For me, he cannot afford to sack him. Don't
At this
listen to
point,
the
I don't
fans.
think he has the money to sack him.
Even if we don't get top four, it doesn't. But like we don't even spend like a top four Champions League team. Look at us. We spend on Jet Spence and Clement Langlais.
Actually, I wouldn't even mind, like, let's just say this season. I mean, this is just an example I'm giving. This season, let's say we go trophy less, but however, we see some form of a project going on in the club or some form of development going on in the club and there's a backing for Conte, and Conte signed a long-term contract. Like, let's say in summer he signed like a 3 year or 4 year contract, then I say that okay, Daniel Levy has some form of a plan. He is willing to back
No,
Conte in a longer run,
if
but he's
Levy
not even doing that.
if Levy does that, I swear to God, I would not even call for his head. Also, you know what? Props, Levy. You finally did something right in your life. But if you sack him, I swear to God, I'm gonna lose my shit if he sacks him.
All the fans are going to shoot their shit. Like
No, they're not. They're
if
not.
Conte
They're not, Elias. Look at We Are Tottenham TV. They were singing for Poch's name. He's magic.
No, sorry. What I was saying was, yeah, I lost what I was talking about. No, what I was trying to say was that at this point, actually, if Levy were to sack Conte, then yes, a lot of fans would be very happy.
Oh,
But
very happy. Okay.
if they will be happy, but let's just say the other situation is if Conte were to get a sack sometime, like let's say the Levy doesn't renew his contract,
Let's say
us
April.
after us finishing in top four in April or May, do you think then the fans would lose their shit?
No, they wouldn't, bro. They just wouldn't, man. Imagine, Elias, you live in Malaysia. You've seen other fans like from other clubs. Have the one of Malaysian fans said, "I want to see nice, entertaining football"? Have you ever seen that in your life? What do the most fans in the country where you live? They say, "I want to see trophies. I want to see
They want
success."
to see trophies as well, yeah.
This guy will bring you the league if you back him.
But
Just wait.
they also have some of these narratives like, okay, there was the point of going against Levy. Like, I mean, we all know that that's not going to happen. Like, to be honest, to a certain extent, the fans in this part of the world, they just don't care. They
No,
really just don't care.
but at least they want to see trophies. These England fans, they want to see nice football. Have you ever seen that, bro?
Honestly, this nice football narrative is another one that I don't understand. Actually, Conte's football is good football. Like,
Do you remember last year?
yeah, I mean, it was amazing football, and suddenly they are going on like, oh, Conte's football is not a nice football. It's so defensive, so this, so that. Do you guys? I don't know if these guys have even seen what defensive football looks like. Defensive football means that, yeah, you sit in your own half, way back deep, and then you wait for the team to attack to come, and then you capitalize on their mistake. We are not doing that. How most of the time, actually, we are in the opponent's half, and we just fail to score goals from there. If
Did
you
you
look
see
at the game,
against? Did you see against City? We didn't even play defensive football. We were in that high line trying to force them to make mistakes. That's what we did. That's how we scored in their own half. So
okay,
people,
Scott and say we saw a project under Poch when we needed to strengthen. If it we didn't buy a player for 500 plus days when we needed to rebuild the squad, we sacked him. I didn't don't see how a project works,
bro,
because
please.
our projects we because we don't see any footballing project work in this club. The kind of project we see working is the money making project. Like, the kind of people he hire also are the kind of people who actually bring in money for him. um but Idris, what do you think about this one?
But even Poch, bro, like, sure, I saw entertaining football, but I never saw an end goal with him. I've never seen anything with this guy. With Conte, I see end goal. I see trophies. With Poch, I never saw trophies. I just saw entertainment and trying to stay consistent in the league.
Don't you think Murray is a bit harsh, because he took them to final, like a Champions League final, and then he
But
there
it
was
was luck,
another
man.
final as well that he took you guys to.
It was luck, brother. It was luck. It was
Mm,
just luck.
no,
When
bro. The luck is also on your side when you're playing well. Like, why is luck not going Conte's way then?
we got lucky with VAR, with what's his name, Laurenti with his handball. We got lucky with VAR with Sterling. We got lucky that Lucas Moura said, "I'm gonna turn into prime Ronaldo." Sometimes you have to be lucky, but with Conte, I see a philosophy. I see like what's it called? His arrogance that I want to win trophies. I am the best. I'm a winner. With Poch, I never saw a winner. I just saw someone that's gonna take us high. Then we have to switch. Then we can win trophies with another manager.
I don't think I actually kind of agree with Scott M there that there was a project under Poch, but the problem with Poch had a project mindset. Levy didn't back him enough for that project to be fulfilled in a longer run.
But
Like, if after Champions League or even before Champions League, Levy would have backed Poch, I think we could have won that final.
yeah, but you say that, Elias, but he never took the cup seriously. That's why I never saw a project with this guy. I never saw a project. I mean, for me, a project it's you want to win trophies. That's a project for me. With him, I just saw let's compete, let's challenge for the league or the Champions League. I never saw the rest with him.
Who, with
With
Poch or with
with
Conte?
Poch, With Conte, I see we want to win every trophy possible in this league.
I mean, it's kind of subjective because even under Conte, we haven't had really good runs in the cups, bro. Like, if I'm not mistaken, we haven't won more than 2 or 3 games in any knockout competition under Conte. Like, when we reached the semis last year for Carabao Cup, actually most of that was under Nuno. We only played the quarters under Conte, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but sure, we lost. We lost against a better team, which was Chelsea.
Yep. Exactly.
But it was a better team. Like either you lose well, or you lose like you get beaten, and we got beaten by the better team. Again, Middlesbrough, yes, he has to take accountability against this team. But look at the players, the mistakes they made. Same thing last yesterday, no, in the FA Cup. He did his job. It's just we have shit players that don't care about this league, about trophies.
Yeah. I mean, one of the other issues that a lot of fans don't realize is the problem is actually the problem that it's not that we are not playing attacking football. We are playing attacking football, because 3-4-3 in its nature is a very attacking formation. Because when it goes forward, you kind of form like a front line of 5 players, and not just 3 or not just 4. This is one thing that a lot of fans need to realize. First of all, um, it's heavily dependent on your wing backs. Secondly, it's also quite heavily dependent on your midfield, because your midfield is the one that once you have progressed forward, your midfielder is the one that creates. And since Bentancur has been out, we are lacking in that creativity as well. Like, both the midfielders that we have are very defensive midfielders. So even if you go forward, there's no midfielder giving you that edge in the midfield. um so it's a personnel problem again, not the tactics problem that Conte has. I don't know, Dietrich, if you agree with me on this one, or do you see it very much as like a tactical problem per se? Or
The only issue I have with Conte's, it's Conte taxes you're talking about, right?
yeah, yeah.
The only issue I really have a big issue with him is mainly the way he uses the wingers we have in this club. Personally, I'm just not a fan of it. With
Wingers or wingbacks?
no, I mean wingers like left attacking mids like Son and Kulu. I just don't agree the way he uses them.
How so?
No, I would rather see more like Son and Kulu using an attacking like sense. Like
Uh-huh.
make them like instead of doing the defensive role, like make them like sometimes you know what, stay on the wing and wait for like a long ball and you make the run. Now it's mostly like let's build up from the defense, then we go to the wingers, and then we pass it to the wing backs. I'm not a fan of it, but if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then
Because the thing is, your wingbacks are just not good enough, so your wingers are kind of covering for them. It's
that's
again
the
a
issue.
personnel problem, but not a tactic problem, bro, I think.
But that's why I'm saying like instead of wasting their talents, focus on their strengths. Instead of helping the areas, focus on their strengths. If Son and Kulu are good going forward, then just make them good going forward and say, you know what? If we concede, we concede. If we don't concede, like who cares? But at least score the goals. Like at the moment, we're just not looking at score or even making a shot on target.
Yeah, it's a fair point, but I think again, this could be another thing where I feel that Conte has to work on. He's sometimes a bit too safe with his approach as well. Like, I remember
It's
once he
always
came out.
it's
He
always the same approach with him, and it's getting a bit annoying too.
Yeah, in a way, yes. Because I think in a game he came on and say that the last year that, yeah, no matter what happens, guys, if you drop a point, I am sorry, he said that if you don't get 3 points, I'm fine, but don't lose the 1 point that you can gain from a draw. He said something along those lines. So, and this is another problem that I think a lot of Chelsea fans used to have with him, that yeah, he always gets draws and stuff like that. Like, I mean, Chelsea just have that
But this year,
defensive.
we're not getting draws. That's the
We
thing.
are
We're
not
just
getting
getting
draws as well.
else. We're just losing.
We are just losing games. And I think, to be fair to Conte, a lot of the issues that we have are again personnel problems. They are not tactical problems. Uh, and I agree with you that the one way you say that actually we should rely more on our strength, which is actually our attack, not our defense.
Exactly.
Um, but I don't know that when we do that again, do we have the midfield as well, even to back to rely on that, and to keep us in a shape where we can actually rely on our attack and create for that attack to score goals. I don't think currently we have that, bro. That to give you that creativity.
No, just the thing for me, he already plays with two DMs. Why do you need Son and Kulu to do more defensive work than doing like forward attack? Just tell them to sit back and let Son and the wing backs and Kane and Kulu do their job.
I mean, I don't see how it would work out if we were to do that. But do you have any classic example of any game where we did that?
Do you remember Leicester? No, but not
Leicester
Leicester. Not Leicester. I
six
mean,
two.
no, no, not Leicester. I mean, my bad. Leeds. Last year when we absolutely destroyed them at their ground. Kane scored, Kulu scored, Son scored.
Yeah, I think that was in that game. Dyer was the one playing quite a lot of long balls.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like you see when you give them the chance to more focus going forward, we can score the goals, but just like tell the others not to concede.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, fair point. That can be something worked on, but I still don't think that's a reason strong enough that yeah, you ask for a manager's head.
No,
Uh,
I'm just giving like an option. Like me, I trust the manager. I trust him with all my heart.
I also trust the manager.
But just me, like for me, I would rather concentrate on our strength than our weakness. But if he believes that's the way going forward, then he has 100% my backing.
Yeah. Nottingham Forest game, bro. Where do you see us going this week? Like,
We're
what
losing.
are your?
We're losing. I don't
Are
care.
you sure
We're
we are
losing.
losing?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure we're losing. If
Are
I
you
was a
sure?
betting man, I would bet we will lose 2-0.
Well. I mean, I made that comment that yeah, at best we are gonna win this game 1-0. Which is slightly optimistic side of me because the current situation that the whole squad has. I think the currently the team is not gelling well with this
Yeah.
whole situation coming off with this whole Richarlison situation, and I'm pretty sure Danuma will be pissed as well. Again, I don't know what's the situation like. I was just looking at my FPL and according to my FPL, actually both Perisic and Emerson are injured. They picked up knock in the Champions League game. So I don't know like what Conte can do. Maybe Dyer, Langley, and Romero at the back. Ben Davis as left wing back. I think that if we play that formation, there's a good chance that we can win this game. If Ben Davis plays a left wing back, then you play Pedro Porro as a right wing back. I think at this point that would be our best 11 that we can play.
Yeah.
Like in my opinion, that's the best 11. But I don't know whether Conte see it that way or not, because that's where that sort of 11 would work out was better. Right? Because currently we haven't seen Ben Davis play starting with Sun. Have you seen any game? No.
No, they never played together.
Yes, like Ben Davis as a left wing back, because Sessignon and Perisic are both injured now. I don't know how true the FPL injuries are usually, but usually they are quite accurate one. Um, and So if Barisic is injured and Ben Davis were to play as a left wing back, I do think that Sunny might get firing again. I mean, in my
Yeah.
opinion, we might see a better version of Sunny. In that case, possible victory.
You're saying we're winning?
Yeah, I think we might win it if Barisic doesn't start.
You know it's gonna start.
No, he's injured apparently. So that's the thing. Say if he's really injured, then he won't start.
I mean, the only one I'm really scared of is Romero being injured.
Romero, I don't think he's injured. Like I was looking at the injury
Because he
record.
looked injured against AC Milan.
That's another one. I think he sometimes act out injuries when he's not injured and he's about to pick up a red. He did that in that Vitesse game as well last season. which is something that I really admire about him. He's very smart about it, but I think refs have picked on it as well that he does that. So that's why like the ref was waiting for him to get up until he shows him a red card. That's just classic Romero. But again, it's pretty much another one like Romero is lately been that kind of player I'm highly critical about. The fact that a lot of players say that Dyer is shit, Dyer is this, and Dyer is that, but Dyer has been giving you the kind of performances in a way in under the risk. Like he doesn't pick up that many reds and yellows and all that. Although he picked up that yellow in the Champions League, he doesn't pick up that kind of a red. At least, like I can't remember when it was the last time Dyer got a red. But Romero being reckless, um, it's kind of making him look bad, in my opinion, at this point. Like
For me, he's not. For me, he's not a defender. He's just an idiot.
who?
Remember, I try to defend him, give him props and stuff. But when you do stupid shit like that, I'm not gonna defend you.
Yeah, it's getting a bit too often. I mean, I won't say that he's a bad defender. He's
Mm-mm.
just reckless. He's just reckless.
Not at all. He's not a bad defender. But like one thing they teach you, like, because I was a defender growing up.
What did you?
If you don't think with your head, you're
Were you a
always
center
gonna.
back? Were you
Yeah,
a
I
center
was
back?
center back growing up all my life. Center back and right back. If you don't think with your head, you're always gonna make a mistake. That's why
Tottenham scouts, if
sometimes,
you're watching, Dietrich Kane can play a center back. Take him over one of those jokers.
like, if you look at sometimes defenders like the best of the best, they never like say, you know what, I have to go get the ball. Sometimes it's better I watch, I analyze what's happening around the field, then I make a quick decision. What should I do with him? I see the ball, let me go tackle, and then let the open space behind me, and I make Pro look like an idiot.
Do you think he's kind of over ambitious?
Mm-mm. I just think he knows he's the best center back at the club, so he wants to show everyone that he is the best.
Yeah, that's another one. I think he is the best center back actually currently we
No,
have.
he is, but like, did you know sometimes when you play with garbage players around you, you always want to do more than what you
Yeah,
usually do.
like take initiative, be proactive, right?
Yeah, it's like people in midfield when they have two shit midfielders. Sometimes it's gonna say, you know what, give me the ball. I'm gonna dribble the whole entire team and do a through ball or score by myself. That's Romero. He's
Yeah.
like, you know what, I'm not gonna trust these two clowns on my left. Let me go tackle the ball, give it back to my forwards.
Yeah, man. That's another one. Like I feel sometimes he's trying to cover a bit too much for Dyer and Davis in the midfield. That he goes like, okay, the ball doesn't come two way back, so he tries to make the tackle in the midfield itself,
Yeah,
because he knows that if he make a wrong move in the midfield in the back line, it would definitely be a much harder for Dyer and Davis to make a mistake because they always do that. So maybe he is being too ambitious. I don't know how it would it be if he plays with a classic center back like Skriniar or Guardiol. I mean, I don't see Guardiol coming to us. Maybe Andika. I think I heard apparently is out of contract in summer. Um,
but if
is
Conte
Andika out?
leaves, if Conte leaves, we're not gonna get Njika, Guarvajal, Bastoni. It's not
Yeah,
gonna
we'll
happen.
we'll probably get someone like Connor Cody or
No,
I
no,
don't.
we're gonna sign Langlais on the permanent deal.
That would be interesting. Or we might even get like someone like Luke Shaw coming in as a center back. for
Yeah,
us. It's really going to be interesting what are the kind of signings we can make, especially now. Honestly, I was having a chat earlier, and just before this show, I was actually on one channel. They were having a top six show,
hmm
so they were discussing about this whole situation as well with Antonio Conte leaving and all that, and they were discussing the chances that how much Liverpool now stands in a good position to actually take top four.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask this question to you as well. Like, would you rather? Do you think we can still end up in top four, and or would you rather we don't end up in top four and end up in Europa League or Conference League? What do you think about this?
Me, I'll be honest with you. I don't care about making top four because I would rather see us in the Europa League and try to challenge in this competition. But knowing like what's it called, Liverpool, they're playing so well at the moment lately.
Yeah, they haven't lost like 5 games in a row, right?
They haven't lost in the 5 games, so the writing says, and they have a game and a half, so the writing says they're gonna make
Yeah,
top.
if they win that game in hand, they are actually ahead of us.
Yeah, because of goal
Then they'll
differential.
be, yeah, because of their goal difference. And I mean, the other one is United also have a game in hand over us. So if United win that game, and I mean the top spot is still, I personally think that the top spot is very much in between Arsenal and City now, given the stage we are at. But Dietrich, before we go, what's your score prediction for the game?
Um, 2-0 Forest.
2-0 Forest. I'll go for 1-0 Spurs. At best. And Dietrich, tell us where can people find you before we
They
end.
can find me on Twitter, or sometimes I just go and tell them away, Will Stewart Show, or now Elias.
Yeah, now he's joining me once in a while. I'll have him more often, guys, because he speaks truth usually. This guy, I'm one thing I really admire about him. He speaks truth, unless it comes to Kane. Then he can be sometimes a little bit deluded.
No, honestly, bro, I am deluded sometimes. I'll be honest, like I am deluded sometimes,
I
but
am also like about Dyer, right?
yeah, I am deluded sometimes. But one thing I'm not, I'll never accept mediocrity or like what the fan base are saying with this Bosch and Richarlison. I'll never say that in my life.
Yeah, man, we shouldn't be accepting mediocrity. Like just go for the easy thing out there, which is just sack the manager or throw blame on the players. I mean, sometimes you need to be critical about these people, but you need to realize the main problem is Daniel Levy at this time, and he needs to go. um Actually, I was just having a chat with Brian Daigle earlier, and yeah, that guy is really working very hard. And I mean, some people who want to see a change, who are going for the hard push, they are the ones who are getting a lot of criticism from Twitter, from fans, from YouTube channels, and it's very hard to see because you guys don't take responsibility. Not, I don't mean Dietrich's you, but I mean
No, no,
those
no, no,
guys.
no, no.
Yeah, those guys, they don't take responsibility for the club, and then they call out these people who are trying to bring a difference to this club, and they actually call them out names and criticize them
But
and say that yeah, defend
guys,
and
you see us. Let's say if we take Conte out, we have every right to say Conte out because we take action. We want what's best for the club. But when these fans they start moaning, crying, and bitching about everything, you never protest. You never. I never heard in account from them out. So you have no rights unless you take action. Accept mediocrity and stop complaining about this club.
yeah, I completely agree with you. There's this set of fan base who clearly thinks that people who want Levy out are like some form of weirdos. The real weirdos are actually they themselves, because they think that yeah, we are adding negativity into the fan base. No, we are not adding negativity into the fan base. We just want something proper. We just want a difference. We just want a change, and we are willing to go through those labor pains that bring in something different. And they are not, they are lazy.
Yeah. What's more? What's more negative? Leave it out or screaming about sacking your manager
Every 2 years.
every 2 years? What's more negative? We never said that in our life. The only one
Yeah,
I asked to sack was
no, no.
Nuno because I never trusted the guy. That was me. But
Yeah, I
the
mean, I
rest, I
also
never cared.
like Bruno. Yeah, I mean, 'cause this Conte one is really pissing me off now, given the situation that he is trying his best. He has the winning mindset, and there's this set of fan base who just want him out. And I mean, honestly, I think this kind of fan base, this kind of fan base, they deserve those kind of nice guys like Ryan Mason, Scott Parker. Let them have them. Once then they will understand the importance of someone like Conte. But with that, guys, don't find me on Twitter these days. If you want to find me on Twitter, don't start stupid argument with me. Otherwise, you'll get some not so nice comments from me. The ones that I've been giving these days are not very nice to all the Tottenham fans. So if you want to find me on Twitter, have a proper conversation with me. Don't try to wind me up there as much as possible, because you know what you're gonna hear from me there. So by the way, I just want to let you all know I just recently started a YouTube page for Step Up Spurs as well, just like few hours ago. So now this stream is all along across on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook as well. So you can find me there as well. Same channel name at Step Up Spurs, and go and like me there and follow me there as well. Because yeah, because some of my fans, they said that yeah, they'd rather connect with me on Facebook than on Twitter, because Twitter is toxic. So I thought, okay, let's start a Facebook page. So yeah, you can find me there as well. And with that, I don't think I'll be doing any shows anytime soon. I might do a fantasy show tomorrow, but I won't be discussing football much now, until the next fixture. So with that,
Next
bye.
fixture is tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry, the following fixture, which is the Southampton fixture. So I think until then I won't be doing anything. I'm only gonna do a pre-match for Southampton now on next Friday. Yeah. So in between, I might do some fantasy content, because now we don't have games in the middle, so I have less content to do. But I'm doing some stuff during the international break as well. I'm lining all that up. So once that out, I'll update you guys on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And just make sure you guys follow me there to catch up on all the updates. And with that, bye for today.